Hi everyone, welcome back and thanks for joining me with ArtSphere again today. In this new video, we're going to still be practicing mindfulness, but we're going to add an extra twist because we're writing letters. Writing letters is an excellent way to mindfully show appreciation for others, learn about them, and gain a little perspective about the lives of the people you care about, your friends, your family, and even people you might not know that well, like your classmates. Letter writing is a wonderful tool to use to get to know somebody better, appreciate the qualities that you like about them, gain some perspective about how another person lives, express your own feelings, and work on your relationship with the other person. Writing a letter is a good tool for communication as it lets you think about what you want to say before you say it, unlike a verbal conversation or texting. When you take the time to find out about somebody else, you get to take the time to get to know them on a deeper level. You might find out things that you wouldn't have known had you not sat down and asked each other questions. And when they receive the letter, it's going to make them feel extra special because you really took the time to pay attention to them and get to know them. And you'll get the same feeling when they give you their letter. So, let's begin. I'm going to give you a list of prompts that you could use to ask the person you're speaking to, but feel free to get creative and ask your own questions. Think about, what do you want to find out about that person? What would you like to tell them about you in your letter? Now that we've seen some prompts that we could use, I'm also going to show you a quick little list of ways that you can start sentences in your letter. Because if you haven't written a letter by hand personally, it can be a little bit hard to think about how you might want to phrase something, because letter writing is different from talking or texting. So I'll show you my example, but again, feel free to get creative. Write how you would like to write. Make it special for you, and that'll make it special for the person that you're asking about and writing to. Okay, here is a quick example that I made up of some key phrases that you can use when you're writing your letter. I also wanted to show you it doesn't need to be anything super detailed. You could even do a list, just as long as you show that you've cared, you ask some good questions, and you let them know what you like about them. And feel free to make it a little bit fancy, add some drawings, use different colors, or you can keep it simple. This is a personal project between you and the person you're writing to, so it can be anything you'd like. I just wanted to give you a couple of starter phrases to make it a little bit easier if you haven't written a letter before. So, make sure you say what you appreciate about them, something good that you notice about them, and you can even tell them something about yourself that they didn't ask that you would like them to know. And again, you can also use a letter as a way to communicate with the person about your relationships. If there's something you want to apologize for, if there's something you need to tell them, a letter is a good way to do this in a safe way. Now, ideally, you would be sitting with somebody else, asking them questions, and then writing a letter to them. But since we often can't be around the people we'd like to see, you can do this with family members in your household, or you can call or video chat with somebody that you'd like to learn a little bit more about. Now, how do you write a letter to show appreciation for somebody else? The first thing you want to do is to sit quietly, make sure you're really paying attention to each other, and ask them some questions to get to know them a little bit better. When you've finished your conversation with the other person and you both feel like you've asked enough questions to write a meaningful letter, you can sit quietly and write the letter to the other person. When you're done, if you're in the room with the person you're writing to, you can exchange letters immediately, Read them quietly to yourself, either then or later on if you want to sit alone. Now, if you don't live with the person that you're writing to, and instead you guys talked on the phone or video chatted, you might want to send the letter by hand through the mail. I'll show you how to address an envelope because I don't really send mail at all, so I had to look it up myself to figure out what exactly I'm supposed to write on there so it gets to who I'm writing to. And if you need a little bit of a refresher or you just don't know how, this will be helpful. I just wanted to take a quick moment over at my art desk and show you exactly how to address a letter. Again, I'm in my 20s and I still don't remember how to do this automatically because I don't write letters very often. And if this is your first time writing a letter, I just wanted to show you how to do it. The first thing you're going to do in the center of your envelope is write the first and last name of the person you're sending the letter to. Underneath that, their street address, you want the number and the street. And finally, you want their city, their state, and their zip code. If you don't know their zip code, you can look up the city and the state that they live in, and the zip code will come up for you. And then in the top corner, the top left corner of your envelope, you're going to write your return address. This is so if the letter is not sent successfully, they will send it back to you. Or if the person you're writing to doesn't know your address, they will have it so they can write back. They'll write your first and last name, your street address, and the city, state, and zip code that you live in. And then finally, on the top right-hand corner, you're going to add a stamp. If you don't put a stamp, they cannot send the letter to the person you're writing to. So it's super simple, it's easy, and as long as you write clearly, your letter will be sent successfully. You can also use letter writing to solve issues between you and the person that you're writing to. When you learn a little bit more about somebody else, it helps you have compassion for what they're going through. It helps you understand their situation and their perspective a lot more. So, if you're having an argument with somebody, or there's just something wrong in your relationship, talking about it, and then from there, writing a letter to them can be a great way to help you fix problems and help each other get on the same page. So your letter could be appreciating somebody else, but also acknowledging maybe what you've done wrong or things that you would like to be forgiven for. Everybody makes mistakes, and the best way to heal issues between each other is to talk about them, address them, and then together you can move forward. So if you would like to write a letter like that, feel free. When you've written the letter and addressed the envelope, feel free to add pictures, photos, drawings, anything that you'd like to give to that person who's going to be receiving your letter. Seal it up and put it in your mailbox, and you're all set. Soon the other person will have something special from you, and you'll have something that you're really going to enjoy from them. I want to thank you for joining me again with ArtSphere today, and I hope you learned something from our lettering exercise, and that going forward, maybe you'll be sending more letters to the people you care about. If you have a picture that you'd like to share, you can email it at info@artsphere.org, or if you post it, #LoveArtSphereInc. Thanks for joining me today, and stay creative.